All right, welcome. This is the CSRN podcast, our weekend review, where we come to you live, streaming from Mott Branch Library. What we're going to do right now is play our intro video. That way you can like, share, comment. This is the CSRN podcast, weekend review. We'll be right back.
I must confess that that dream that I had that day has at many points turned into a nightmare. Now, the other thing that we've got to come to see now that many of us didn't see too well during the last 10 years, that is that racism
not guilty
is still alive in American society and much more widespread.
Broke his neck after Baltimore police.
A handful of protesters, a handful of criminals and thugs who...
Many in moments of anger, many in moments of deep bitterness, engage in riots. And as long as America postpones justice, we stand in the position of having these recurrences of violence and riots over and over again. Social justice and progress are the absolute guarantors of riot prevention.
Mr. Gray's death was a homicide.
The Negro was freed from the bondage of physical slavery.
The athletes marched onto a stage.
But at the same time, the nation refused to give him land to make that freedom meaningful. Freedom without land to cultivate. Freedom and famine at the same time.
and create jobs for our people.
Negro is to be free. He must move down into the inner resources of his own soul and sign with a pen and ink of self-assertive manhood his own emancipation proclamation. But I want to get the language right tonight. I want to get the language so right that everybody here will cry out, yes, I'm black, I'm proud of it, I'm black and beautiful. Individually, we are poor when you compare us with white society in America. We are poor. Collectively, we are richer than all the nations in the world with the exception of 9. That's power right there if we know how to prove it. We begin the process of building a greater economic base. And at the same time, we are putting pressure where it really hurts. We don't have to argue with anybody. We just need to go around to these stores and to these massive industries in our country. Say, God sent us by here to say to you that you're not treating his children right. We come by here to ask you to make the first item on your agenda fair treatment where God's children are concerned. Now, if you're not prepared to do that, we do have an agenda that we must follow. And our agenda calls for withdrawing economic support from you. We mean business now, and we are determined to gain our rightful place in God's world.
All right, we are back. This is the CSRN podcast, our weekend review, where we come to you live from Mott Branch Library. And shout out to Mott Branch Library. They always roll out the red, black, and green carpet. Let's start with some intros. I'm Brother Washington Muhammad. I'm one of the co-founders of CSRN, along with Mike Leonardi and Jabril Bey. This is our 10-year anniversary victory lap. So you're going to be hearing a lot about CSRN, some Black Lives Matter moments, and some of the things that we've done that really mean a lot to us. What am I wearing today? I've got on my beads, and I've got on a bracelet that says "Spoken Truth, My Words Only." All right, so I'm rocking that today. All right, I've got a white hat on, kind of a light blue polo shirt. And as always, I'm dedicated to respecting, protecting, and defending all Black bodies, no matter the cost, no matter the gains or loss. And another shout out to Jabril Bey, Mike Leonardi. They're the ones that came up with that term, community solidarity. I never used that term before, and they had a community solidarity day, and they asked me to come on and help with the next one, which was a police brutality forum at the Frederick Douglass Community Center. This was in 2014. And then from that, we had our kind of like our first protest at the Lucas County Courthouse when Michael Brown's killer wasn't going to be indicted. And so many people showed up for that. I've got the picture. I don't have it loaded up, but maybe during this year of our 10-year victory lap, I'll show it. So many people showed up. And in that picture, you don't see me because I left early to set things up at the Kent Branch Library so that right after the protest, we'd have somewhere to go and debrief. And it was from that moment right there, we took a Tuesday to meet every week, and we are here 10 years later. Hey, listen, man, that's some nostalgia right there, all right? Let me pass it on to Jody to introduce himself, what he's wearing. I think I don't know if I've seen that shirt before. And then we'll get into our mission statement and guiding principles. Hey, what's up, Jody?
What's up, everybody? Jody J. Summers, child of the system, better known as Spoken Truth, the treasurer of this wonderful organization. And it's a funny story, too. Like you were mentioning the first thing that you had went to with this. Yeah. As we had our first protest at UT, I'm not photoed there because I'm actually recording our interruption on stage and stuff like that. And I still had that recording somewhere.
Oh, that's dope.
A lot of stuff.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right.
Yeah. A lot of stuff is on the page if people do go to our social media, but besides all the small chat, the reason why we do this also because we know we are on Spotify. A lot of people don't actually, have time to watch stuff. So, you put us on a shelf. We're not the elf on the shelf type of thing, but, you put us on a shelf, you listen to us, or if you're driving, because we know around this time you got sports going on, kids or getting off of work or trying to do other stuff than stare at a screen. So we describe ourselves. And I am a big brown bear of a man that is covered in tattoos and crystals, stones, bones, artifacts from living and manifesting the reality I started 10 years ago.
That's right.
I wasn't a poet or an author or a producer or an actor or a city official or a nonprofit board member and all of these things that I am now, marketing and running a business that somewhat looks like an entrepreneurship, but I'm a hobbyist and I'd rather just do stuff because I love it, not to pay my bills. So there's a conflict of interest that comes along with some of my friends in industries that they see me in and they're like, hey, you want to? And I'm like, no, I'm just here in the forest.
That's right.
Fun.
That's right.
Sometimes you might see me, sometimes you may not. I was a lot more vocal in the past about everything that I did because I did not feel seen. So you'll see me delay things, which I think in this
now
society,
we're too seen.
Yeah, and in this society and day and age is everything happens. I also want to say, rip Eddie Bauer, Big Eddie Bauer, Mud Massacre. So much of my view through entertainment was, I guess, in a sense, through that man and the Juice and all of those people and stuff like that. Okay. See, I don't have my second screen in front of me, so I don't know what's going on. I'm just kind of actually for the first time looking at the camera and trying to make eye contact with y'all, which I normally don't do. But so rip Eddie Bauer, rip Jericho, a lot. And the reason why I talk about knowing your surroundings and what you're doing. Social media is becoming more of an advertisement machine. It wants you to tell everything about your life so it can build
everything,
all this stuff. And I talked about that
everything
a few books ago, and it'll be talked about in this next book coming out. But this is getting more about me than it should be. So if you are here listening, we thank you and everything like that for 10 years of dedication, whether it be in the streets, on the podcast, coming up to the show to be a guest.
That's right.
I have so many friends that are
That's
like,
right.
hey, how do you get guests and blah, blah, blah. We ask them to talk about them. We don't have topics. We don't have trigger things like that. Yes, we are a trigger. We ain't got to be more than that.
That's right.
So how do you get to that point? If you're an organization that's just starting out in this world that tells you to go get grants, tells you to start begging people for money before you've earned it and stuff, we have a foundation and
our guiding principles and our mission statement,
which are like the walls that will be here hopefully long after me and Brother Washington are gone, because we are facilitators of things we wanted to see in the world.
That's right.
We're not sitting on some throne or gatekeepers or anything like that.
That's right.
So, we are the Community Solidarity Response Network of Toledo, formed on November 25th, 2014, the day after it was announced that the killer, a Ferguson, Missouri police officer of Michael Brown, an unarmed teenager, would not be indicted. We bring awareness to the injustices experienced by Black men, women, and children who are disproportionately murdered, attacked, provoked, and harassed by law enforcement. Police brutality has to end. We bring awareness to the fact that most often, yes, most often, police brutality goes without consequence or accountability. Police impunity has to end. We utilize the tactics of protest, civil disobedience, event disruption, and citizen advocacy to help give voice to those who are otherwise voiceless. We facilitate progressive, community-based events that help foster self-development, and we discuss measures to hold local leadership accountable, yes, accountable to their sworn duties, be they politician, clergy, law enforcement, educators, etc., etc. We want justice, equal justice under the law. We want justice applied equally to all, yes, all, regardless of class, creed, or color, for all lives to matter. Black lives, yes, Black lives must matter. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr.
All right. Hey, Jody, after we run through our guiding principles, I want to come back with a Black Lives Matter moment. You know, that was something just to talk about one of our first protests that was at the Lucas County Courthouse, and it was formed. That's the day. You know, until then, we were just meeting, not meeting to meet, but we knew everyone. We were kind of talking about this type of thing in Jabril's house, which was a strange and unusual place for me to be, but some great things happened in Jabril's apartment. So shout out to Jabril, and really shout out to everybody that gave something to this idea that just ordinary people could speak truth to power. And also, let me give a little shout out to those in our and what is it called in our comment section.
Yeah.
Yasin Muhammad says hello. Yvette Muhammad. Oh, okay, the whole family. All right, all right. Stay in peace. So so great. And also, we're gonna have to have Yasin back on.
Yeah.
I think he's got his book published.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to start rolling out some trailers for that and trying to show up at, some of the events. I think this is great for him. We talked about it before he came out with the book, and I think that he's really close to presenting it to everyone. So let's have him back.
Yes, most definitely.
All right. And it's really something to have a mission statement, is what you're about, is what we stand for. And in having that, we have to have some principles. And also, Today is the birthday of Tamir Rice, and this is the same 9 years ago when we were at the Movement for Black Lives. Was during that time of Tamir Rice.
Yep.
And this is where we adopted the CSRN guiding principles from the Movement of Black Lives. And I'll just go ahead and get started, and then we'll move right through this. Oh, let's put the mission statement on the crawler.
Shout out to Latanya Goldsby.
Yeah.
Still keep in contact. And activism is weird now.
Right.
Anyway.
And I think at one point she was a part of the Black Student Union.
Mm-hmm.
All right. All Black Lives Matter, queer Black lives, trans Black lives, formerly and presently incarcerated Black lives, poor working class Black lives, wealthy Black lives, differently abled Black lives, Black men and women lives, immigrant Black lives, Black elderly and children lives. All Black lives matter and are the creators of this space. We throw no one under the bus. We rise together. Ashe.
Ashe.
That means one who changes a thing or one who makes a thing happen. Thriving instead of surviving. Our vision is based on the world we want, not the one we're currently in. We seek to transform, not simply react. We want our people to thrive, not just exist. Think beyond the possible. Ashe.
Ashe.
Experimentation and innovation must be built into our work. Embrace the best tools, practices, and tactics, and leave those behind that no longer serve us. Ashe.
Ashe.
Evaluation and assessment must be built into our culture. Critical reflection must be a part of all of our work. We learn from our mistakes and our victories. Ashe.
Ashe.
Principal struggle can exist in a positive environment. We must be honest with one another by embracing direct, loving communication. Ashe.
Ashe.
Love, self-love is practiced in every element of all we do. Love and self-love must be a driver of our work and an indicator of our success. Without this principle and without healing, we will harm each other and undermine our movement. Ashe.
Ashe.
360-degree vision. We honor past struggles and wisdom from elders. The work we do today builds the foundations of movements of tomorrow. We consider our mark on future generations. Ashe.
Ashe.
Self-care means we build resilient spaces by budgeting time, energy, and resources for healing. Self-care is a regular, consistent, intentional, and essential practice. Ashe.
Ashe.
The most directly affected people are experts at their own lives and should be in leadership at the center of our movement and telling their stories directly. Ashe.
Ashe.
Training and leadership development should be fundamental. Our movement must constantly grow, and leadership must constantly multiply. Ashe.
Ashe.
Those are our guiding principles. And Jody, that's one of the things that I believe that's kept us here. Whenever we have positive disagreements, which we should, if we're trying to build something, it shouldn't be one person having all the say-so and no one having anything to offer. But whenever we have our positive disagreements, and I hope to have more, we come back to the point where we're just trying to do the right thing.
Some people have walked the plank due to mutiny.
Yeah, but we do this because we know what it's like when groupthink takes over, and everybody's thinking the same thing, and no one's raising a concern. No one has anything, different to add. So our guiding principles brings it back together. It lets all of us know that, hey, look, we're here for the right thing. We're not just here to agree on everything. So, and I guess that could be my Black Lives Matter moment, being a part of some positive disagreements that have made us better. Myself having an idea and then hearing a better idea and going with the better idea is a good thing. Hearing the idea that might get us hurt, all right, and somebody standing up, all right, and saying, hey, look, no, it's not, it can't go down like that, So all of that, I think, takes into what we do, because we're not doing it for profit. Nobody's going to pay us to liberate us.
That is very true.
So it's going
And
to
if they do, you should be worried.
Yeah, and it's going to be what I learned this from working with Minister Charles Muhammad. He talked about unfunded initiatives. That means that whatever we're doing, it's out of our own pocket, it's out of our own energy, it's out of our own time. And whatever we do, we're going to own that. So CSRN is for us.
Yeah.
And
our own FUBU.
Yeah, it's our own FUBU.
And I do want to say, because I always forget to describe what I'm actually wearing. I don't know. To me, what I wear is kind of like where my Where's Waldo or something that's identifying. You're always going to see me.
All right.
Didn't really realize this until in the film and acting and stuff. I have no shirts without an organization or a mission statement or something on them. Literally, my everyday is a double-breasted button-up with a t-shirt and jeans. So today I'm wearing something, if when you see me on camera, it's a little more colorful than most people see me, as I was a former villager, the village on Adams, board member and stuff. But we, sometimes every puzzle piece don't fit. It's okay to be the little bush in the corner, but sometimes you might have to be the tree somewhere else. And that's kind of what I'm doing right now.
All right. Well, my Black Lives Matter, another Black Lives Matter moment in question is, how did you get your look? It's a unique look.
Very much so.
All right.
As I go a little bit of everywhere, it just kind of became as collecting as I went places and met people, and some people gave me things, or it's like those Lucky Charms that like sports people wear and stuff like that. Just kind of kept adding to the collection. I used to have a single breasted pocket. I used to button my shirts, but you never saw what was underneath it. And now it's somewhat become the walking billboard. So when people ask me, and it happened on set too, about my chains, I have my famous line of, they weigh less than the chains my ancestors had to wear, but they lift me up because I know all of these people. When they jingle, when they move, how I have to move accordingly so they don't break. It gives me a lot more patience and time to think about my actions than who I was before, which is be the person with another person one-handed.
All right.
Most people have never met him, and never will. So I'm happy to be at this point, and I keep glazing over my Black Lives Matter moment was, I guess, every week having something to do. It's kind of like group therapy when we did meet in person. Yeah. And when we didn't, you was like, what do I do? I mean, this has been a decade. So even though we do the podcast now, that's also why we have special guests on and go to other things that are not necessarily associated with us, because we still need to be in the community to understand it. We can't just sit on some hill and say, oh, you're bad and this is why, or throw money at something. Like you said, you can't buy me. I'm the treasurer. That's right. And, a lot of
can't buy me. I already got a job. All right.
And I had several jobs in hats,
right.
But
that's what's up. I like that.
Through this, how to communicate better. Yeah. Because you're always going to find somebody in opposition, I hope, where you go, no matter what stage of life you are, because they have a different opinion on things. And that is a healthy thing a lot of people avoid. So that's my Black Lives Matter moment, is sitting in a group of people every single week to commune and figure out how to put some duct tape and spit and glue on the world. Oh, hot top.
All right. Hey, okay, that's funny. All right. I didn't know how we were going to bring that into the chat, but we did. It's all good. Hey, we're going to take a short break. We're going to run Keith Cook's Bike Rides Matter clip, and we're going to come back and talk about, man, we've had a taste of Hollywood in Toledo.
Yes,
all right?
we have.
We're going to run that. And also I want to give an update on Community United. They're on the front page of the Toledo Sojourner Truth this week. So stay tuned. This is the CSRN podcast, our weekend review. We'll be right back.
If you can ride a bike without falling, then you're good to go. Bike Rides Matter, it's a community bike group. We get together for fun, fitness, and fellowship. We ride weekly. Right now we got a Tuesday ride where we ride on the UT Trail. We do Saturday right here at Uptown Green. That's our glow roll Saturday night. It was something I was already doing with my daughter, just riding bikes, and we just decided it would be cool to add the community because we were just finding ways to make fun given the situation. Being that everything was closed down and options were limited, bike riding is one of those things you can do without any restrictions.
You get to make new friends and just like interact with people, especially during COVID. You still like have your mask on and stuff, but it's still good to like see people.
It's a cool way to stay fit. We talk while we riding, we got music while we riding. I've met quite a few new friends and new people. I made some real cool connections throughout the city. Take advantage of the time you have. Take advantage of this pandemic. I know it's a lot of restrictions, but you can be creative and find new ways to have fun, one of which is this right here.
Hey, I'm Dr. P. Not only am I a leadership coach, I'm a change agent and I'm a race scholar. I've used my study of race to dismantle systems and organizations, but I also use that to help you as the individual become a better leader for your families and for your community.
We are back. This is the CSRN podcast. Our weekend review. We had some really interesting discussion, while the commercial was going. But what I wanted to do right now is talk about, we had a Taste of Hollywood in Toledo. A lot of people that I know were got called back to be extras, and you were one of them.
Yep.
What was your experience with that? Because I saw things at the casino happening. I saw it at Port Clark's happening. I saw some of it in Westmoreland happening. So what was that like for you?
It was fun. My first, I guess you could say, big budget movie, because this is movie number 8 for me. A lot of my independent, couple more coming out hopefully before the end of this year that are independent or stuff like that. But this was, and I'm going to backtrack a little bit to say thank you to Film Toledo and the city of Toledo for contracting this idea that we could be a tax credit city. We, from some of the stuff on the news, you might have seen that we were last year previously $40 million. This year we got an increase to $50 million. And next year we're going to get another $25 million increase. So $75 million tax credit will be here in Toledo, which means other places are going to come, since
that's right.
It's like, oh, everywhere is so expensive. It's expensive out there, but you have a port, you have airport, you have train stations, you have the actual hood, you have abandoned buildings, warehouse district, a whole bunch of stuff in Toledo that can be mashed into other scenes for Hollywood movies and CGI and stuff. So the experience was awesome. Seeing a lot of the extras, seeing the actual crew and the gurneys and the setups and stuff on a bigger scale. Like the biggest scale that I'd seen up until this point was being on the set of Sons of Toledo.
Okay.
So, and that was an awesome movie as well. It's on PBS. You should go check it out. They premiered around. You can ask the directors. I'm just going to say the directors. You type into your Google Sons of Toledo and find it. But this one was different because I got to see, a lot of people. And also learned, yes, acting and entertainment isn't for everyone. I'm sorry. That's the reality of it. A lot of it is, hurry up and wait. Some scenes, there was one day where because we were all backgrounded extras. Nobody had scripted lines. We did have scripted positions and stuff like that. So you'll see us in the upcoming film. Do not take what some people said about the title of it being the actual title, because nobody gets Tom Holland in the industry no more. So just take a lot of that with a grain of sand of people talking about they know this and know that, because some of them didn't make it to set. There were a lot of difficulties. The food was awesome. The people were really nice. You know how people say, oh yeah, people can be dicks and stuff. Not a person on set was. Our last day of filming, where we wrapped the film and everything, I gave everybody a crystal. Well, 14 people. I was trying to get the director, but he was a little busy.
Yeah. Come on now.
But it was fun. We
That's
did speak for a moment. I got some souvenirs.
Okay,
and
all
stuff.
right.
Another thing that I tell people is like all the stuff that you see on me or the stuff you don't see around me are from things I've done. So yeah, there's my little piece of the set from this movie.
Okay. All right. Is that from the casino?
That's from the set.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. I'm just
I can't tell you what
y'all
part
know.
of the movie or anything like that. But yeah, I can't wait to see it. It is going to be a streaming movie. I can tell you it's a 20th Century Fox with all that stuff, which is Disney. So which means everybody that was in this film that did as extra, whether they did one day or 2 days, I did 4 personally myself. You have a contract with Disney.
No, that's what's up.
They have your headshots. They have your bio and stuff like that. Right now, currently, there's another filming project because a lot of them are going to come over the summer at UT, where they were paying $200 a day for ages from 20 to 60 and a whole bunch of stuff. So it was a great experience. For some, it wasn't. Again, it's not cut out for everybody. Some days I spent 13 hours
excuse me,
in staging. Didn't get a scene that day. I had done 3 previous, so I wasn't too much worried, but some people were just upset that they couldn't get a scene and didn't have to stand for like an hour while cameras are being reset and stuff like that. And me, you got to be good with it. I mean, they feed you. You are doing something not a lot of people get to do.
Yeah. I mean, and you know, if you've never been a part of a production before, if they need me as an extra, I'm needed for that part. Mm-hmm. So there's going to be some times that I'm not going to be doing anything. There's going to be some times where I'm going to have to do the same thing over and over. And it may look like it's insignificant, but when you watch a movie, everything in there is a part of the movie.
Yep.
And
it's meant to be in the movie.
And right. And even looking insignificant is a skill.
That it is. Some people will get that camera kind of past them. They tell you to do nothing. Mm-hmm. And you get that lunge dump moment where people will just
I will start looking at the camera. Come on, bro.
Stare at the camera is moving like your back is supposed to be turned. How did you turn around, sir? Now we got to shoot again, and the whole set has to be reset. So,
that's going to be the day that I get discovered.
Right, and it's actually the day you get walked off set because you ain't listening.
That's right. Let that be a lesson.
Run up to people, no matter how many movies they've been in or how much experience, because again, some people don't get the idea that this is bigger than me. Mm-hmm. And they're like, I've done blah, blah, blah. There were a lot of people who probably will never be called back. One person in particular got on the film crews page and started telling them that they were trash and they didn't.
Oh, yeah. I think somebody shared that with me.
Yeah. And that's the quickest way to never do it again and to be bitter. The thing that's going on that's on my page right now, that's where I'm at in life. I'm no longer sorry if you don't accept me.
Yeah. And I think that's just a lot of inexperience that you think that you're entitled to be something that you're not. You know, mm-hmm. they hired me for this. It's like if I show up at my job tomorrow and expect to be the CEO, come on, they hired me for I'm supposed to be on fries today. All right. So let me accept the fact that I'm on fries. Maybe tomorrow I'll be on the grill. Mm-hmm. All right, but let me just accept where I'm at.
So that was fun, and I hope they come back. And I don't know, I may go out there. Also, Superman is filming right now currently as well. So, you know, a lot of them, the film group that I did meet came from Cincinnati and Cleveland. So I travel a lot. I perform a lot. You know, might see each other out there.
All right. You know, I want to just take a quick break.
Yeah.
I don't have this on the loaded into the software. A picture of that. That's the Toledo Journal. The Toledo Journal. Well, I love the Toledo Journal too, but this is the Sojourner's Truth. And shout out to Fletcher Word and the staff of the Sojourner Truth, because they were downtown at the Community United Juneteenth parade. And it says at the top, let me look at that. It says Toledo's annual Juneteenth celebration. And that's a big shout out to Community United for organizing the parade. And I think it's the fourth year. I think it's the fourth year. I think it's the fourth year of this. And on page 18 and 19 of the Sojourner's Truth, you'll see a lot of the step shows. I mean, step groups. You see some of the Masons, some of the Eastern Stars. I see Erica White in here. Who else? I see the Slingshots.
You're probably in there somewhere.
No, they didn't get me. Well, but it's all good. It's all good. It's all good. You can't be in every paper, Washington. And they have some beautiful horses too. And also there's a big ad for Elgin, honoring Juneteenth. Elgin Rogers Jr., State Representative, District 44. So I said your name, bro, so you already know what it is. But really shout out to everybody and all of the organizations that put together a Juneteenth, celebration. And shout out to Brothers United and putting together the coalition celebrating fathers. And they hosted a discussion about urban fathers like myself and violence. And we need to talk about it. So for Mike and Avis Files, great job that you're doing in the community. Pastor Williams Foster, that was there. Victor Coleman. And they're doing a speaking tour right now, a change tour. Hopefully we'll see them soon. Also, I see DeMarco Peacock. I had the honor for being one of his mentors back in the day. And Terry Crosby, who is the community ambassador for Taylor. I think Taylor Kia. And shout out to Terry. He's also wrote a book, and like to get him.
And I think, matter of fact, I believe he's got something coming up along with me in August. July. Matter of fact, let me check that real quick.
Check that out.
So he's also, it's just so much stuff. So yes, he is one of the honorees for the 19th, say that again, African American Festival here next month.
All right, and mentioning that, and I know I don't know if we're just going over stuff because that's what we do. I think they had a picture of you in here. Where is the picture at?
It is. I don't know. As I've gotten closer to my retirement date mentally in my head, which honestly as this year keeps going along, I know that's not going to happen. Retirement from some things. I don't think I'll be doing 20 to 30 open mics a month or stuff like that, because again, I got to start preparing myself for if I'm on set for 13 hours or running a school program or going to the state house to speak.
Right. So right here it says that we would like to recognize one of this year's honorees, Jody L. Summers. This is the Toledo Urban Federal Credit Union. This is for the 19th African American Festival. What is the job of an honoree? What do you do? I mean, are they going to put you in a convertible and you're going to wave at us?
I plan on walking. Like if you see they have the flyer for the parade, and there I am proudly adjusting my chains, holding Marcy's as the leader of the parade. One of those years.
Yeah, I saw that. I was going to get at you about that, but it's too late. That was last year, all right?
That was last year.
It's all good. It's all good.
I'm starting to feel like Lil Wayne. Did I write that?
Yeah, you did.
But yeah, so it's good. I'm not sure what the honoree does. I'm gonna add another trophy plaque thing to my wall before I get ready to move, but I'm also performing, and there's a whole bunch of people performing. Main person I'm enjoying to meet It's not English, but I'm getting ready to meet is Bootsy Collins. So
okay.
Parliament Funkadelic and all
That's
that
right.
stuff. The whole vision behind some of my artwork and stuff. If you've ever seen it move or
Yeah, it looks like old Funkadelic album covers.
Yep.
That's what's up.
So
I just realized that.
Yep.
Okay. All right. I see you.
So living the childhood dream, didn't even know it. And now a lot of his stuff is popping up on my timeline of how he performed James Brown and stuff. You know, the algorithm is always fun once you look up something. But yeah, so I'm there. I'm also going to be vending. It is at the Huntington Center, not at the park this year. And in hindsight of everything that has happened, I say that is the best decision in moving forward and stuff. We can let that part die. But moving on from there, I hope to see y'all at the awards and stuff. I'm about to start pushing it more. The bank is pushing it. If you want to be a vendor at this event, because I'm also vending, I don't know, maybe my clone will actually have to show up.
I know.
And be at the table like, wait, Jody, how are you shaking hands?
Hey, that's right.
But go to the bank, talk to them at either their 2 locations, either here on Door or on Monroe, and ask them what you need to do to be a vendor, because, you know, it is coming up next month.
All right. Hey, I want to give a shout out to Eden Garden, and also I want to just shout out to Sonya Organics too.
Yes.
I think I put up the flyer of when they first opened the garden this year. But every Sunday 4:00, they meet 300 block of Boston Place. We've already got things growing. We've got the cucumbers, we've got the squash, the zucchini. We've got the green beans. We've got the sweet peas. Yep, of course, we have tomatoes, plenty of tomatoes. We've got the broccoli, the cauliflower, the cabbage. And I think that we've got potatoes. We tried to get some carrots, but
I did plant carrots.
Yvette, no, she told me to do it. And I did a horrible job.
I know I planted, what was it, beets or something?
Whatever I did this year for the carrots, they didn't make it, so we just planted something over it. So yeah, so come on out, 300 block of Boston Place. You will know it when you see it. It's the only garden with the Black Lives Matter sign and the defund the police sign. So you already know what it is when you pull up. And I also wanted to go over a couple of stories from the Final Call newspaper. This year, we're back on the corners, myself and other brothers of the Nation of Islam. We call ourselves the FOI, that means the Fruit of Islam. So you'll be seeing us not just on the street corner, but also hopefully in your neighborhood. So each Monday and Saturday and some days in between, we get together, we go out with the Final Call newspaper, and this week's edition is called Uncovering the Truth. And you might be asking, uncovering the truth about what? Well, did Israel have forewarning about the October 7th attacks? And it's coming out that they knew it was happening and they didn't do anything to stop it, almost like one of those false flag things. There's a couple other articles in the Final Call. Hey, this is my digital edition, so you can log on to digital.finalcall.com and get a digital subscription, because during the pandemic, we stopped selling papers on the corner. We stopped going to the meetings, and the only way you could get a Final Call newspaper was the digital edition. Or if you were just not willing to do that, you just go to finalcall.com and kind of read the same thing. But this is all the best pictures, all the articles in full. There's an article regarding the justice denied is a slap in the face for the survivors and descendants of the Tulsa massacre. There's still a few people, Jody, that's still alive.
Yes, there are.
And there was about over nearly $2 million worth of damage, which amounts to about $25 million today. And their lawsuit was thrown out by the judges there. So we're going to continue to look at that. Also, there's been a lawsuit filed for reparations in Illinois. So people are still, thinking about, hey, look, they treat everybody else well. they break everybody else off. And let's see, I wanted to go over just a couple of articles. It says 50 chemicals may be leaked to infertility. Be mindful of the microplastics. Be mindful of the chemical makeup of the bottles, the water bottles that you buy, and how you store them. And let's see, let me read a couple of other articles, and we're going to be done with this. Oh, there's the middle article by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, a case for reparations added up. As I said, every country that's been destroyed, every people that's been destroyed, they're given a way to rebuild. They're given land, they're given resources so that they can start on their own. And I think that we are obligated to fight for that so that maybe we can have something of our own. And last, there's this record set, not record set, a CD set and DVD set called Let's Change the World. This is Minister Farrakhan's album, and it features a lot of popular rappers along with him playing the violin. So that's on In the Final Call too. Outside of that, there's the importance of community engagement. As I said before, the brothers are going to be more out on the corners and in the neighborhoods. And lastly, if you get the Final Call, support our prison ministry that produces so many brothers that go to prison and then come out thinking better, doing better, and changing their lives. And sometimes, Jody, the world doesn't get changed by people that have never gone through anything, That
is true.
And were it not for the Nation of Islam prison ministry and some of the things that it had to offer, I probably wouldn't be here. I probably would still be a 60-year-old wilding out or just homeless or something. So, so get the Final Call newspaper. That's the July 1st edition. You can either get the physical paper by coming to where's my paper at? By coming to the podcast and just picking one up, all right? Made a paper, or go to digital.
I don't think they saw that because you got the screen on.
No, I've got it. Let's see. They see the little.
We the tiny screen.
Yeah, with the tiny screen. You know what? Maybe let's make it a little bit bigger. Yeah, you can get the paper Final Call where it says uncovering the truth. Did Israel know about the October 7th attacks? And it's coming out that they knew, and they allowed that to happen so that they can use that as an excuse to bomb everybody. But bro, y'all knew. Y'all could have just put a stop to it, but it is what it is. It's been done, and now there's going to be more and more coming out about that. So get the Final Call newspaper. It's a dynamite, award-winning newspaper. And some people say, well, is it just for Muslims? Come on, stop playing with me. All right. Stop playing with me. Hey, listen, we're going to take a short break, and I think we're going to come back with top some loose ends.
Yeah,
and then hopefully
loose ends, do some stuff. Again, thank y'all for listening. Thank you for coming in every week. If you would love to be on our show, you not only get a Final Call, you get some buttons and possibly some crystals and a good conversation about yourself. You can watch back.
Oh, man, that's what's up. Hey, this is the CSRN podcast, our weekend review. We'll be right back.
Did you know addiction is a disease, not a moral dilemma? The opioid epidemic and substance use have a major impact on communities of color and many people's lives. Wasion Wellness Recovery Support Center offers culturally relevant inpatient and outpatient behavioral health treatment and recovery support services to any Ohioan struggling with addiction, mental health, or finding sober-safe housing. We must recognize that treatment is available and accessible to all. If you are in need of treatment or want to find out more information, you can call 1-888-728-2713 to talk to someone or schedule an appointment.
Now you can get the same uncompromising truth you've come to expect from the Final Call newspaper on all your connected devices. Subscribe to the Final Call Digital Edition today. Go to subscribe.finalcalldigital.com.
All right, we are back. This is the CSRN podcast, a weekend review. You know, when we came back, we had talked about Men's Mental Health Care Month. And man, that's a subject that a lot of brothers may not talk about when we get into the barbershops, although somebody might get in the comments and say, no, we talk about it. All right, good. I'm glad you do. But when we're discussing ways to balance out or recalibrate at the end of the day or find something to be that healthy release valve, what are some of the things that you do? Because if we scroll through your page right now, we'll see you're here, you're there, you're doing this, you're speaking of that. We've got the African American Festival coming up, and I wear a suit every day, but how did they pick you? But all right, it is what it is. All right, that sounds like some hate. But what is it, Jody, that you do to balance out weekly, daily, or monthly to stay, balanced the way that you are now?
I create a lot. I move around a lot. I don't let myself be occupied in a waste of time, energy. Even when I'm at home, I'm either writing or performing or perfecting. There are very few times, unless I'm completely exhausted, that I'm just sitting there letting my brain rot. Yes, this thing that you guys see right here is literally my life. I don't own a TV. I don't do a whole bunch of streaming services, so you're not going to see me on Spotify. I have the big three. My music comes from YouTube, which I gladly pay to have no commercials and use premium. And I can type in a playlist or just veg out. Mostly I veg out when I do is on indie games or stuff like that. Stuff that will never happen in this world that I don't have to worry about.
Okay, all right.
I don't watch news because I make it. And if I don't make it, there are enough people around me that makes life worth being informed about. I don't need 1,000 self-help books, even though I do write them, which is kind of an ironic thing. But my self-help books are just me journaling, me figuring out a combination of words or letters or syllables and putting it out there. Because once it's out there, it's not in me no more. I don't have to worry about it. And some people it touches in the wrong way or right way, but it affects people. And that kind of gets reciprocated back to me. When I give gifts, people are appreciative of that. And even if I don't remember, I've gotten to the stage now in my career where somebody asks me, do you remember me? I will bluntly and kindly tell them no. Unless they give me
you gotta
some information. It's not me being a diva or forgetting you. I appreciate that you remember me, my name, anything about me, but I see a lot of people now, and unless we communicate all the time or there's a specific thing that stuck out, you kind of got to jog my memory. Not that one time you were on the grass and you said them words. You have no idea how many
I'm on the grass every day. All right.
Yeah, that one poem you did
That's
about
funny.
the thing. And I'm like,
But how many things do I have? Yeah, that's
and now I'm more appreciative of what I've built versus before in the beginning where I was trying to tell everybody I do all this stuff. Now, like, it took me 2 days before really talking about myself on set. It kind of spread quickly. Like, hey, that's Jody. And I'm like, crap, John Jacob Jingleheimer Smith.
Yeah.
I did it to myself, but
That's
I'm happy because I could look back and I could see where I was a little over a decade ago and know it worked. Some reality worked. I don't have great days all the time. Like, I am still that slam poet. I'm still that person that don't poke the bear. Just learn to diffuse that in other ways. And art is a great medium for that. And I'm not the best artist in the world. I'm the best art that comes out of me. So
okay. All right.
I know that can't be duplicated. And I heard after our last day of filming, and I got to give him his credit, Mr. Charles or Christopher. See, I have bad with names, but you know what? I'm going to go to my phone, which is my lifeline to everything. But Mr. Charles, he said something that was really profound in a sense. It's not, you know how they say it's the people you know and all that stuff. In honesty, it's the people who know you. Because I can know all of these people, but what am I actually benefiting from knowing and mentioning all these people?
If they don't know you.
Right. And if they don't, because they know me,
good. That's
how
the
I
stuff.
get casting calls. That's how I get booked for shows.
That's the stuff.
I'm in the rooms because of my, I guess, credibility or the effort that I put out when I'm outside the door. No matter what happens in my house and how I cope with the world, when I come out that door, I am responsible to my community.
All right. Shout out to Men's Mental Health Month. And one of the I wanted to play this video from Void Galleries while I go over my coping skills and my grounding techniques. This is the same brother. I'm gonna go ahead and start it running it now. It's running without.
That was a good event. I seen a lot of people out there.
Yeah.
I was on set the whole time. Sorry. Actually, I was at work, then on set, and then back to work. So, but I think I was part of that one last year. I think I was. Too much stuff.
Right. And you know, it's Men's Mental Health Month. And I think that mental health care for men is different, could be different from everyone else. It's not a cookie cutter thing.
Yep.
What works for Jody may or may not, you know, but if you don't have any type of coping skill, if you don't have any type of grounding technique, I'm more than willing to listen to someone that has one rather than to wait till I boil over. What do? I think that recognizing some of the things that I can't do anything about. There's a serenity, there's a something called the serenity prayer, and it says, God grant me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change, the courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. There's so many things that I should be caring less about.
Yeah.
And I have to know what those things are in order to focus on the things that matter to me. And I learned that skill years ago of being indifferent to so many things, not hating something or disliking, but just being indifferent. There's some things, Washington, that just don't matter. And this is one of another way that I kind of prioritize things, Jody. If I can't change it with a phone call, a text, an email, or in showing up in person, hey, look, this isn't for me, you know, then I'll just give it back to God, or I give it to the universe, or I send it up the chain. I just can't waste so much time, you know, spinning my wheels. And also another thing that I do is every day I have a grateful list that I run through. I can run through it maybe 3 or 4 times a day, and it's to identify the top 7 things that are going right in your life, because regardless where you are, there's some things that's going right.
Yep.
And the top thing or the top 7 things that you're grateful for. I think that most often we're trying to take care of a lot of people. We're trying to be considerate for a lot of people, and we leave ourselves out, you know, and it's time to stop and really think that, hey, listen, you may have it going on. You may have something to really be grateful for. So those are my my coping skills, my grounding techniques. That's Void Gallery. This brother is phenomenal in what he does, and I'd like to have him on, hopefully, in the near future, to talk about when did he know he was good with photography. That was a drone shot of the R&B festival or concert over the weekend.
R&B picnic. Yeah.
The R&B picnic, all right, that happened over the weekend, which was successful.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of people there, lots of vendors, good music, and everyone that I saw post about it was satisfied with the way things came out. And I know that CSRN, that may not be our thing to have an R&B picnic or outing.
Well, we can sponsor them.
Yeah.
Speaking of that,
Okay.
we'll talk about that.
Oh, yeah.
Next show.
Okay. Yeah. All right. I'm glad you mentioned that, because that's something that's coming up soon. We'll make sure that that's in the software to take some time out to talk about that, and not only have the sponsors on the show to talk about it, but also have some of the organizers.
Yeah.
All right.
We're looking at you, Tracy.
I know. That's
I know
what's
you
up.
ain't doing interviews, but still, it's about time. Because
it is. It is.
Again,
This
I'm
is
gonna
something.
reiterate Big Rick, Big Eddie Bauer.
That's right. That's right. All right. I'm ready to tie up some loose ends. We're at that 1 hour mark at 7:03, but it doesn't feel like we've been on for a long time today.
See, that's how you do an awesome show. And I'm going to interject, because anybody that might be seeing this mass posted across Facebook in particular with our heading, or if you see it on the show with our heading, some things that I'm thankful for, because Anika hopefully will be back with her journal and everything like that. But
That's
in
right.
honor of, everything unforeseen can happen in entertainment and doing stuff live. So some of the things that I'm grateful for is just to be able to get up every day and have the ability to do all these things. I admit I do a lot, and some people, are only comfortable with doing one thing.
That's right.
And the fact that I can go out there and do it and hear or be told that that's inspiring to do so much is great. I'm thankful for my daughter, who just turned 21 last week.
That's right.
The scariest thing in the world.
It sure is.
Even scarier, I asked her what she wanted for her B-Day, and she said she was good. I'm still trying to figure out what to do with that right now.
Hey, all right. Okay.
But it's okay, Another thing I'm thankful for is that I learned to control my rage and put it better places. It's a statement I posted a couple of days ago to know, and I'm paraphrasing, but to know extreme love, you must know how to be very dangerous. And at some point in my life, I was very dangerous and in a better place now. And I'm thankful for that, because the rooms I step in, the people I talk to, they need somebody that is softer and understanding, because a lot of the people, because of the work I do, are on the brink of not being here the next 24 hours. So thankful that I'm able to do that.
All right. Hey, let's pay some bills, and then we're going to get into our 5 minutes of heat. Yep. Hey, who I would like to see is Aviance Hill from the Northwest Ohio Parents of Murdered Children. We're going to get our sister from Fame Studios in, Deja Griffith from the Lean On Me Foundation. So we look forward to getting our sisters in. And once again, big shout out to Barbie Huffman for this award-winning picture that she painted. It was in the Toledo Art Museum. So big ups for CSRN, and that was taken from this iconic picture from May 30th, 2020. If you like what we do, we would like for you to subscribe to our YouTube page. We're looking to get at least 100,000 subscribers. That way we get that thing in the mail, all right, and some bragging rights, at least on my block, all right? I got 100,000 subscribers. We'd like you to like, share, comment on what we do. Let us know what you're thinking. We talked about Black Lives Matter signs and the defund the police signs at the Toledo Urban Garden. If you want to be like us, hit us up on the inbox and get your Black Lives Matter sign. We still have some left. We got just a few of the defund the Toledo police sign, defund12.org/Toledo. I think that link is still live, but if not, just click it anyway. We're going to be coming out with our new defund police sign, so be on the lookout for that. If you like what we do, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, listen to us on Spotify, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and you can follow us on X whenever Jody decides that he's going to start tweeting again. Don't say it, Jody. I already know what it is. All right. If you want to support us, you can support us via Cash App. That's the cash tag 419. PayPal is the CSRN 419. We do not have a Venmo. We don't have a Venmo, but it is what it is. And also be on the lookout for our CSRN Toledo yard signs that you can put up in your yard. Let your neighborhood that you support the grassroots movement, grassroots organizations, and progressive thinking. So, Jody, I think that I've covered pretty much everything for today. And now we're going to get into 5 minutes of heat. And you might ask, well, what's 5 minutes of heat?
Well, we got to update people on this other stuff too, though.
But before we do that, all right, let's update people on some of the other stuff. I did the other stuff a little bit too soon.
It is okay, because I like doing this because, again, even if I can't be there, or to let you know what's going on, where you could be available and stuff. So since the last time you saw some of the events that I was able to attend or be a part of, and all of that stuff were starting off Saturday, because, again, I was, after we left here, or actually coming here, I was on set for all those days. So there was no going out to the community and doing all the stuff, but there was some stuff I was able to do because we only had Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday were off. So here's Friday and Saturday I could see throughout the community. Starting with Saturday, we had the gather. Well, there was a few things going on. There was the Family Fun Day. Shout out to Deborah Sue. We had bouncy houses and hot dogs. We gave over, 100 hot dogs out to the kids for them to eat. Stuff like that. There was a bouncy house out there. We broke out the water hose and kids had fun. There was a face painter. Shout out to all the people who showed up. This was multiple years of us doing this in the compound area just to try and give a little bit back to the community and stuff like that. So shout out to Deborah Sue and everybody that was a part of the Family Fun Day. There was also the Pink Party. Shout out to D Brown. That was at the Secor building where a whole bunch of artists came around. If you see the last post under this on my pages, that's where that was shot, with me looking at the painting, or me on top of the building looking out over the Mud Hen Stadium and stuff. So that was an awesome experience. Maybe next time I'll go up to the roof. But yeah, shout out to D, who was also one of the people that got me into art and performing consistently, because, yeah, a lot of this is consistent. It became my routine of life. It wasn't like, oh, yeah, I'm going to do a show, and then a month later. That's why I'm so good, I could guess. I don't think a lot of it is talent. Maybe it is. I just ignorant of it, but I'm glad I'm ignorant of it. But the Pink Party was awesome. Following that, there was a studio network party at the House of Rock. Shout out to Jared. This was our 5th one, where people, artists, local and everything. Again, I'm going to keep reiterating that Big Eddie Bauer thing, because this is stuff like where it started. People had to start somewhere before they were the Gimme My Shines and all the other legends of Toledo. And
That's right.
Proud of Jared and Black and everybody that keeps this going, where artists of any genre can come into the studio one day and just record something, get to know each other, network that way. Because as an artist or entertainer or anything, it's hard to meet people in your field because you're not my target market. You are the person that I may collab with, but I'm not trying to get you to come to my show. And then all that stuff is great when you can, but I understand you're working on building your children's future too.
Yeah.
People need to humble themselves on that. Sunday, there was the R&B picnic. Shout out to TJ Johnson, I want to believe is his name. Trying to get as many people out there, because, again, our community is what you make it. If you spread negativity or lies or controversy, that's what you'll get back. Shout out to Tracy and the upcoming Park Jam, Suzette, and the upcoming African American Festival. But that was just some of the things I was privy to coming up. I don't know if there's a lot, because it is the end of the month, and you know how the end of the months go. The few events are starting again. If you did see my post and you know I'm supposed to be somewhere for July, let me know by the first week. Because after that, the end of the month for me, the last 2.5 weeks are going to be nonstop again. It's kind of how my months and stuff are balancing out. So I hope you get me a flyer if you haven't, because it's going to start out again. And I don't really see nothing coming up before we come back. So matter of fact, there is one thing that's on my thing: the Black Gala audition and fundraiser showcase at Toll House. That is this Friday at 8 p.m. hosted by Jay Rayford, and that whole thing, I believe that's the band 1983, or there's a lot in Toledo.
That's awesome.
That are similar, but I haven't seen any beef amongst these groups, and I hope to never see it. Because keep building. Yeah, 1983, right. The band. I'm looking at the flyer. The fee is $15 on Eventbrite. Probably at the door as well. Auditions and fundraiser for the Black Gala. So hopefully a lot of people show up for that. A lot of artists. This Sunday is Thrift and Sip at Mommy Bay and Company. So, a friend of mine, CC Crystals, is out there. There is a downtown celebration at the docks. Zalenia Apparel Fashion birthday celebration is going on. And that is the only 3 things people have notified me so far. There is Tech Night right now. If you want to learn about AI and all that stuff.
Why gotta be AI?
Because I have my personal opinions on it.
Okay, all right.
Like my art and stuff, and I'm sensitive about my art, and I feel a certain way about AI, but that's not my battle. So if you want to learn it, the ability is there. If you want to teach it to your kids, the ability is there. It may not be in my household, but I can't slight you for something that you're doing to create your life better.
That's
as
true.
long as it's not harming anybody, which is, again, a balancing scale on what AI is for artists. But there's an opportunity, and there's the tattoo flash sale. Pay what you can at the tattoo shop going on right now. So, yeah, if you can make it out to some events, if you got other events, share them with me or the page. And as long as they're community based, I say that with so much emphasis because I'm not putting people in clubs, in bars, or in situations where they have to watch their back.
That's right.
Whether it makes profit or not, I lived that lifestyle. I did that. So if it's not community based, tomorrow I guess you can catch me. I don't know. I'm teaching a class over at the Truth Art Gallery where I'm going to help kids create their own dream box.
Oh, that's what's up.
So I'm very proud that I get calls like that now to teach younger generations stuff I didn't get taught when I was younger. But that is some stuff coming up. As I get more stuff, again, I'll try and share it on the page and let everybody know.
All right, that's great. Hey, listen, now we're gonna transition to what we call 5 minutes of heat as we wrap up today. And today is pretty good.
Yeah,
that was a good look for.
See, we don't need no guests now.
Yeah, that was a good look for CSRN and what we do regarding the activism. And just pushing back on the narrative that we can't stand up for ourselves, or we can only organize if we got politicians in front of us, or preachers, or pastors, or professionals, but just lay people can't do it. No, that's not true. You can do it, whatever you want to do. Do it like you love it, and whatever you need to help you along with it, it'll come. But first, you got to love what you do. And this is something, and this is a part of my self-care too, is getting here, putting up our signs, watching people walk by that says, hey, what are you guys doing? That's something that we love to do. And we do it regardless of if anybody recognized it, we do it. And that brings us to 5 minutes of heat. We have a unique way of closing out our meetings. If it was in person, we have a unique way of closing out our podcast, which is to use creative expression. We just don't slam a gavel down, and we call it 5 minutes of heat from the song 5 Minutes of Funk from a group called Houdini back in the late 80s, maybe early 90s. I think maybe the mid to late 80s, they had that group, that song, Friends, How Many of Us Have Them, and they also had 5 Minutes of Funk. So I kind of remix the title and say, hey, 5 minutes of heat. If you got a rap, spoken word, if you had a dance or whatever, a quarter of a manifesto that you wanted to recite, hey, let's bring it and we'll make it different. So for 5 minutes of heat today, what do we have?
So this again being Men's Mental Health Month, this is our final week with you because Monday is the end of the month. Tuesday, when we come back, we'll be on a whole new, this is not my forte type of energy.
Yeah. That's true. That's true.
So, and also for those of you, I guess, because I've been told to say more, there are videos on my page as well for Men's Mental Health Month. So this will be my 7th poem of the month, and Thursday you will get a new video to end out the month. But this one is called Happiness. It is going to be in Childhood Trauma Series Volume 2, which I'm eventually going to get in gear before the end of the summer to have it out there and published so you can start reading it and don't have to come to my page or talk to me to get all the goodness. So let's begin. Peace. Happiness. What's your secret? I go to war every day with myself, battling back societal impressions of other people so I don't become them. Battling someone over how they choose to live their life is not making me any better. I don't win every battle, and on those instances, I choose to stay still, look deep in the mirror, and figure out why I have a problem with this. I've done this for so long. My mirror exists wherever I go. It's more of a moment I learn to take for myself, so I don't harm anyone else on the outside with instances of trauma done to me by someone that was probably unaware of what they were doing long term. I don't try and be perfect. I just try and be the best version of myself because I never know who I'm going to meet. And even if I meet a worse version of them, yes, even if I meet a worse version of them, maybe by seeing the best version of me, it will cause them to pause themselves. And this moment has taken a lifetime. And even when I do fail, I don't beat myself up because I know I am willing to get back up and do better, holding myself accountable for whatever wrong I might have done unknowingly, and trying to make peace with moving forward. So it's not so much of a secret, but a journey I chose to take. If I thought anything about this was safe or fair, then I would just do what everyone else is doing. I hope this helps. In whatever weird, creative way my brain structured these words to come out. Peace.
And as always, we snap our fingers, and that was Dynamite for Men's Mental Health Month. That's our brother Jody Summers. And Jody, hey, listen, it's another podcast in the books. I'll say it in the can, but we'll put it in the books. All right. Yeah. And soon, what you're gonna get, family, we're gonna try to create some short clips of the podcast and load those as soon as we get that groove together, because I know that editing is going to take some time.
You might have to hire somebody offline,
or there may be some interns that are studying videography at the University of Toledo
that would love to be a part of the program.
Right. We'll give them class credit,
build their portfolio and stuff like that. You know, we're shouting out to you.
All right, that's right. And as always, all lives can't matter until Black lives matter. And Black lives can't matter until
all
Black lives matter. Justice or else?
Yeah.
Peace.